question. Okay, all right. It's December the 27th, 2014, 5:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and what happened to that announcement? Wait. I remember, and I really couldn't find where it came from. But I was like, well, it sounds kind of logical. You know, if I was a promoter, I would do some shit like that. And I'm thinking, well, wait, it is December the 27th, 2014. My Christmas lights are off. And why are my Christmas lights off? I mean, it's not Christmas anymore. There has been heavy rumor and speculation on the internet and YouTube that Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao would be announced for May the 2nd, 2015 on December the 25th, 2014. I'm in a situation where I do not want to do a video that's 30 minutes long, but I want to compact all the information that I've gathered over the last 4+ years on YouTube all into a video that's under 15 minutes. So where do I start? I guess I can start as saying, well, when I first started on YouTube, I wasn't a reporter at all. I just was a guy that did YouTube for fun. Other people saw potential in me. Then before I know it, I was doing YouTube every week. Then at every week now turns into every day. So before, my credibility, even though I knew what was going on as far as what everybody else knew, but my credibility was low. Because for one, I used to drink a lot. And also, I didn't have the sources and connections that I have now because I didn't take it seriously. So to round things up, to tell you this is, I have about 10,000 people here in less than 5 months. I'm trying to say it. Well, yeah, you know, I was trying not to be cocky, but I'll say this. People tell me stuff. I get messages in my inbox. I get people that send me text messages that say such and such and such and such. Now before, if this was 6 to 8 months ago, people would send me stuff, but I wouldn't know who these people were. So it wasn't until I started taking my social media seriously that when I started researching these people, I'm seeing these people with pictures with Jeff Mayweather, Freddie Roach, various different boxers. And I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, that was you sending me all that shit all that time? So what I'm saying is this. When I get my information, the reason why I get so much is because I round that shit up and put it in my own words to such. And what people say is this. They say, well, you just read off of the internet and you just watch other people's videos. Here's the way I combat that. I combat that by saying, tell me the last time I told you a fight was official when it wasn't. Now, if I'm correct, it was Demetrius Andrade versus Matvey Korobov. The reason why I did that is because I got lazy. You know, I just went out there, you know, I knew that basically there was a lot more research I had to do. But what happened was I was doing other shit. Simple as that. So I'm trying to figure out, like, listen, the fight is happening, but I guess I'm going to say just flat out that the information that I have is, if it's what you want to know, is that in January, the contract will be signed. They have agreed to fight, but understand that something like this, of this magnitude, both sides are in a situation where so many people, there's so much that has to be done from marketing, sponsoring, you know, and like just putting the event together, the arena, you know, whose name is going to be the biggest on the banner, you know, there's so much that has to go on that each and every one of those steps, one side is trying to get over on the other. So, you know, when it comes to the like the beers, concessions, and, you know, the drinks and everything that's sold in the MGM Grand, if the fight is going to be there, someone's trying to get more than the other. So Mayweather's A side in that situation. When it comes to marketing, you know, someone's trying to say, well, we want to make sure, you know, when it comes to commercials, people see more Mayweather than Pacquiao. So it's a lot more to negotiate in a fight like that than just, you know, okay, well, here's my demands, here's your demands, you know, and then we're going to agree on the other side. No, that's so much because there's so much money involved. And with a fight like this, the biggest fight of all time, you don't want to cut corners as far as maximizing profit. So when it comes to an announcement date, you have to think logically, okay, the fight's going to be in May, right? You want that fight to be announced no later than January because you got February, March, in April to market the fight. You want the fighters to be able to also market, but be able to get in the best training camps of their possible lives. So therefore, you have a press tour that you have to go on. You have to imagine that this press tour is going to be the biggest press tour in the history of world press tours. I wouldn't even be surprised if they do dates outside of the United States. Hit LA, of course, Vegas, New York, like them going to Miami, Texas. They're going to be going everywhere. So it's not just as easy as saying, yeah, it's going to be announced this and this and that, because for one, Manny Pacquiao had to defeat Chris Algieri. When it came to negotiations, you have to think those people, that's what they do for life. That's their careers. So you have to think that they're waiting, okay, let's see what those Pacquiao Algieri's number look like before we go ahead and say, okay, we're going to fight Pac. We're going to sign this contract to fight Pacquiao. We're going to do 70-30 or 60-40, whatever it was. And you don't know what his marketing power is when it comes to Pacquiao versus Algieri. So I'm talking to you about common sense, and also I'm using my education as far as looking at it from a business aspect and me wanting to be a promoter in the future myself. So it's tough because when you hear people talk, and I'm thinking like, okay, all right, I respect everyone's opinion. But then it's kind of insulting because I know like I go extra steps to make sure I get like valid information, because I can't do no video that's getting 50, 60,000 views and I'm talking about shit that's not true. That just makes no sense. So when I do a Mayweather versus Pacquiao or or a video of that magnitude, when I know it's a good possibility it's going to reach a large audience, I got to know what I'm talking about. So as it stands right now, as I'm hearing, see, none of us knows outside of Mayweather versus Pacquiao, but all I can say is that I have a source close to the source but it's going to be somebody that's going to put some shit down in the comment box. They're going to be like, I told you, motherfucker, I got to say. But anyway, January. So I'm thinking, well, they should want to announce this fight before the end of this year. Right now, we have about 4 days left. They should want to announce about 4 or 5 days left. They should want to announce the fight now, but I don't know what else has to be worked on, and maybe they have a set date. Okay, we want to, announce it then. But if I'm the promoter, I want to go into the year knowing, okay, all that's done. Now we can just start focusing on, getting this situation taken care of. So when you look at who right now, Pacquiao versus Mayweather, needs the other person the most, this is where the video is going to get really controversial, because I say Pacquiao needs Mayweather for the money. Mayweather, despite what your argument is, I think that if there was a poll, the poll would say Mayweather needs Pacquiao. Let's just leave it at that. If ESPN done a poll today, it would say whose legacy needs the other one more. Mayweather needs Pacquiao. So let's say if that's the case I'm going with. Mayweather is also in the situation where if there's anything that Manny Pacquiao has to hold against Floyd right now, or as a bargaining chip, is, well, who else you going to fight? Despite whatever the money is, stop it. Come here, man. Come here. Come here. Come here, Chubby. Come here. Sit down. Sit. 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 He can say, excuse me, take a throat dry shit. They can say, well, who else would you fight to generate the numbers that, even if Mayweather versus Pacquiao just did 2 million, which is highly unlikely, just did 2 million buys. Who else could you fight that would generate that? 3 out of Mayweather's 4 fights with Showtime has reached over 1 million buys. God damn it, I'm sorry, guys. Listen to a little bit more music like clip I got there throat. Actually, no, because they're going to copyright the shit out of me. Anyway, not Keith Thurman, not Erislandy Lara. God damn it. No, this is rude. Not Keith Thurman. Amir Khan and Eddie Hearn mentioned something about it, about 800,000 pay-per-view buys. And that sounds about right. I don't think it does 1 million, because I understand. Now, let me just nip this in the bud, because I guess I got to talk about Amir Khan. I understand your stance. I understand that he would give Floyd Mayweather the toughest fight of his career at this point in time. I understand that. But I'm looking at the business aspect. I'm not saying that Amir Khan necessarily doesn't deserve it, but in the eyes of fans like myself, all we want to do is see him get punched in the face and just take it. And that's what it's just, to boil it down to the simplest form, all us fans want to do is see him get punched in the face or see him fight a guy like Danny Garcia or Marcos Maidana again. Now, I noticed, and this is why I get to talk about it and other mainstream networks and channels and all that can't talk about it, is because race plays such a large part in the sport of boxing that when you try, put it this way, it's hard for people to talk about the race aspect of boxing without seeming like a racist. So I'm going to just tell you straight up, and if you think it's racist, it's like, how can it, I said shit like this many other times before. It's like, I can understand, just like black people follow the black boxers, just like the Irish fighters follow the Irish fighters. I understand, like, to the people, all the Islamic people, and, you know, as far as Khan fans, you know, the Pakistanis, and, you know, I understand what you're saying. I understand what the Arabian people are saying. I understand that he's very, very good, but you got to understand, if you are not from the United States, then you can't tell me that that fight would sell over 1 million pay-per-view buys here. Because if you know what Floyd Mayweather's biggest fan base is, his biggest fan base is the American hip-hop, urban, African-American fan base. But then also to factor in fighting on a Mexican holiday, he fights a Spanish-speaking fighter to secure, okay, I got them too. Because they want to see him lose. So throwing in Amir Khan, he's going to need that heavy, loyal British following of those people that are from there and live in the United States now. And I'm thinking, well, only Ricky Hatton was able to do that. And Ricky Hatton was the man when it comes to, honestly, I think if Ricky Hatton had a fight in the MGM Grand, it would do more, I'm talking about doing before he fought Mayweather, it would do more than what Amir Khan did when he fought Devin Alexander. So from a marketing standpoint, Ricky Hatton is so much more marketable than Amir Khan. That's just my opinion, but you can't, like I said, I can't let you argue with me about that. I mean, I keep going on and on and on. He's not going to sell over here like that. It would be a good fight, yes, but we're not talking about that. Floyd Mayweather needs numbers. The only people that can provide him that numbers is Miguel Cotto 2, which that's not going to happen. Canelo Alvarez 2. I can't say Golovkin confidently. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now I'm just saying fights that will not happen, but can, you know, within that weight division. Timothy Bradley, maybe. You know, so Juan Manuel Marquez, no. The highest is Manny Pacquiao. Showtime, CBS, they want numbers. There are people that try to come on here and tell me that Floyd fights when he wants to, you know, Showtime can't force him into the ring, you know, because I noticed that the excuses, and that's what they are getting outrageous, because Floyd Mayweather, his back is against the wall. I'm not just the only person saying it. I was saying it a while ago, and people saying, nah, you know, he don't have to fight and all that. He can do it. You know, Floyd Mayweather once told us himself that he can fight a nobody, literally a cab driver, and we'll still buy it. It doesn't equal the amount of money he's guaranteed. So no matter what, Floyd's going to get that $32 million. Then after that, it's up to Showtime to try to figure out, damn, we got to generate profit. Floyd Mayweather didn't get pay-per-view buys from Maidana 1 and Maidana 2. Showtime, if you think that his contract is for $230 million guaranteed money, you have to think that, how much does Showtime want to make? You can't tell me that they don't want to make at least 500 million. 750, $1 billion. They probably thinking, well, we can make $1 billion off of Mayweather doing that contract if we give him 230. Throw some pay-per-view buys in there, here and there. So, bring myself to the question of, if Floyd Mayweather fights Amir Khan, you're going to have power move between Miguel Cotto and Canelo, Golden Boy Promotions, and Top Rank Promotions, going against the newly formed Mayweather Promotions. Golden Boy Promotions promotes Amir Khan, and Amir Khan is one of the few fighters that we know of, big name fighters, that signed to Golden Boy Promotions. How do you tell me that this man's back is not against the wall? How? How do you tell me that this man's back is not against the wall? So, Saying that, I know that it's going to raise a whole bunch of arguments and everything, but once again, you have Canelo versus Cotto. Oh, whoa. A-side. Cotto versus Canelo. That will greatly, vastly double. If Mayweather versus Khan does 800,000 pay-per-view buys, 900,000 pay-per-view buys. Canelo Cotto 1.6 million. 1.6 million pay-per-view buys, 1.8 million pay-per-view buys. You know, so it's not smart business for Mayweather. Would get destroyed on that date. I'm trying to keep my cool about it because I'm trying to talk logical, calm sense. And I'm just thinking the following Floyd Mayweather has and the support, yes, but people are getting tired of him. The fans like me, the fans who've had to sit through this horrible year of Showtime boxing, we are tired of it. We're tired of it. I condoned him fighting Marcos Maidana too. I condoned it. Why? Because I said, well, Marcos Maidana, even though he lost the first fight, Floyd Mayweather couldn't have that aura of Marcos Maidana leaving with fans cheering him from Floyd Mayweather's home gym. So, and it was other factors too, but I understand what Amir Khan's trying to do, and he's getting annoying with it. You know, it's just like everywhere you see, it's just an interview, and he's just talking and talking and talking. But it's just not there. If Floyd Mayweather doesn't fight Manny Pacquiao, the demand for that fight is so high right now. Honestly, I think the demand for that fight is the highest it's ever been. Why? It's because we know both of these fighters are on the way out the door. And we know that we don't want to see Pacquiao versus Marquez for a fifth fight for multiple reasons, because Marquez might kill him this time. So, I look at it like this. I know confidently that if Floyd Mayweather fights Amir Khan, I'm going to do my best to make sure that pay-per-view sells 100,000 less views just because of me alone. Just because of me alone. I've been coming up with a plan on how to do so, but it's one of them things like, well, you're just some YouTube guy with 10,000 subscribers. Try me. And there was no disrespect to Amir Khan. I would watch the fight because he can win, but Floyd Mayweather knows that. Al Heyman knows that. And they're also looking at the fact that, well, high risk, low reward. Showtime, CBS, Oscar De La Hoya, they know this. They know that Floyd Mayweather thinks it's a big fight. If the fight doesn't do over a million buys, then... But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to be sitting here for a half an hour. I think I made my point, even though I'm getting frustrated talking about it because there's going to be people that's going to keep trying to argue. And I'm thinking, like, look at the common sense part of it. Who is he going to fight? Who? TstreeT Controversy, TstreeT Controversy Live.